I want to quit my job. I hate my boss. I hate my coworkers. They're annoying. Does this sound like you? Today, Chris is back once again. We're talking about quitting your job. Chris, you quit your job. Why and how?
So I was doing door-to-door sales, selling solar out in California for...
So you're knocking on doors. You're that guy.
I'm banging on doors.
I'm sleeping and this guy's coming. Well, I sleep in.
I'm banging on doors and while I eventually realized that I'd kind of plateaued in terms of my own abilities and I'd gotten the experience that I wanted. It's also something that I would recommend anybody go do if they really
door-to-door?
If you actually want to test yourself and see if you're somebody who has what it takes to be in sales or be an entrepreneur, you have to go do door-to-door sales.
I actually sold chocolates door-to-door when I was in grade 8.
That doesn't count.
I worked for a company. We sold chocolates.
That doesn't count.
We sold chocolates.
Your child labor experience does not count.
So it was a lie. They told us it was a student employment program, but it wasn't.
A student employment program.
Yeah. I sold chocolates door-to-door. It was one for $3, one box for $3, or two for $5.
Hustler.
So then I realized, I'm like, this company's screwing me over. So I cut them out. I went to Dollarama, the dollar store, and I would buy my own chocolates. And I went door to door. I'm like, this is a student employment program. I'm here to sell you chocolates.
And you were just banking your own profits.
Well, you buy a box for, what was it, $1, and you sell it for $3. That's $2 profit. That's not bad, man.
Yeah, common sense at a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then people would question me, like, wait a minute, are you really from the student employment program?
That's what my card says.
So what does someone have to do before they quit their job?
It's difficult to give advice on that because it depends on the situation of where you're at, right? You know,
That's just golden handcuffs, man.
Do you have a home base, right? Like, do you have your own place? Do you have
Mortgage,
an uncle?
rent, bills.
Yeah, rent, bills. Do you have an uncle? You also have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? For me, I didn't own a car. Thankfully for me, my parents had an old car. They let me use it. They paid the insurance on it. I only had to pay gas.
So you're living off your parents.
So essentially, I took care of all my other bills, which are basically my cell phone.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that was it. My cell phone.
And you quit your job.
And drinking. Yeah, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you recommend people watching this? Would you recommend they quit their jobs?
It depends on what you want.
If someone hates their job.
How old are you? How much life left do you think? I think of everything just like as an entrepreneur would think of it in terms of, how do we treat our customers, right? You don't think of your customers, say, for example, in Starbucks as a $5, sale, right? Or even like say the $2.50 margin. You think of them of what's the lifetime customer value of this customer. If we can provide an extraordinary customer experience for them, well then if we do it right the first time and the second and the third, the likelihood that this person is going to continue to do business with us for the next 30 years of their life, that's a lot of money. That's not including tapping into their network. So I would say take an entrepreneurial approach to that decision and look at what's the lifetime value of me staying at this particular career, and what's the lifetime value of me going in and pivoting into a different direction, right? And also understand that most of the time, in terms of your careers, you can always go back.
That's a good point.
Especially in sales. I know right now that if the endeavors that I'm currently pursuing right now, they fail for whatever reason, I can go back and within 3 months I can have $40,000, $50,000 in my bank. And really? I know that because I have done solar for so long and I have acquired those sales skills that now I know what to do. I know that recipe for success to go do that. But that's not what I want anymore.
What do you want?
I want to create passive income through an affiliate website.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on.
So what if someone has bills? What would you recommend?
If you have bills, I would ask what those bills are. I would write everything out. I would say
write every expense down.
Write every expense
fixed,
down.
Variable. Fixed is things that you can't ignore, and variables are things you control.
The thing is I think Grant Cardone said it. He said money loves attention. It's like a marriage. If you don't give it attention, it goes away. And it's so true. You have to look at it. I don't care if your bank account says $10 or if it says 10,000 or if it says negative 10,000. Whatever it is, you have to look at it. You have to write everything down, and then you have to look at whatever your current expenses are and say, okay, what am I willing to give up? Most people don't want to give anything up to get to the next level.
That. People,
and that's what holds people back, in my opinion.
I agree. People don't. I talk to a lot of readers, a lot of listeners, and they're like, I hate my job, but then I'm like, well, what about your car? Can you give that up for 3 months? Can you give up Can you get a roommate? Can you get a crappier cell phone plan? Can you go out less often? They're like, no. I'm like, well then, you're stuck at your job. Yeah. There's nothing we can do about that, right?
And also, it always comes back down to fear of what other people think.
Yeah.
Every human
Which is
has
really
that,
serious.
right? Every human has
We all
it.
wanna be accepted.
I see it all the time when I'm walking down here at the beach, even find it in myself, right? You know, I'm going to the gym. I feel like I'm a pretty fit guy, but I'm not as fit as I know I can be. And so because of that, the sliver of insecurity creeps in. And, you know, once you realize that everything that you've ever felt, every other human also feels.
That is the truth.
Once you discover that, you're like, dude, like,
That is the truth.
and the thing is you can be anybody you want to be. Right now, if I wanted to be goofy throughout these entire episodes, everybody in your audience would think that I'm just a really goofy guy.
That's true, they don't know you.
But if I wanted to be really serious all the time, and then that's how it would be perceived.
Yeah.
So you can be anybody you want to be, and you have to understand that nobody actually gives a fuck about your shit. Gary Vee said that because you're all too busy worrying about our own shit. So
That's
you have to give up the car if that's what it is. It's getting more is actually about giving up more. That's as simple as
getting more is what. Yeah, it
it's
is.
about
You
giving
have
up more.
To get more, you have to give up more.
It's as simple
And-
as that.
That's the problem. A job is they give you golden handcuffs. You have 2 weeks vacation. You got health benefits. You have steady paycheck. They say what's the most addicting things? The most addicting things are what? Carbs, heroin, and a steady paycheck, right?
Fuck. Damn. I've tried carbs and a steady paycheck, but I haven't tried crack.
Don't heroin.
So-
Don't try it.
That's different?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I
How do you know this?
I read studies. So if you want to quit your job, write down your expenses, fixed, variable, and give something up. What could you give up to make this dream happen? And then focus on creating a new income to replace your old income. You can't quit your job and not make money, right?
No, that's not. That's the thing, dude. Is like everybody wants. Look, if you're gonna take a leap, go jump. You have to jump, and everything will work itself out. It might not. I know this sounds cliche because we've all fucking heard it before. Trust me, I watch plenty of motivational videos
love
and
that
Gary
stuff,
Vee
eh?
and Steve Harvey and all this different shit, right? Whoever your guy or girl is, we've all heard the same stuff. But I'm telling you, what they're saying is true. Unless you go and you make the leap of faith, the opportunities, the people, the circumstances, the situations will never present themselves. You have to take a leap. You have to be okay being broke for a while.
You do.
You have to
It's
understand what that
uncomfortable.
feels like.
So uncomfortable.
You have to go
Yeah.
through that. If you don't go through that, you don't deserve what's on the other side. You deserve to get a steady paycheck the rest of your life.
Wow.
You deserve it, 100%. You have to. You
Chris.
have to go through that shit.
You nailed it. We give you guys a lot to think about. If you want to quit your job, watch this video. Tag our friend who wants to quit their job, and let's be realistic. Leave us a comment and let us know what you're going to do to quit your job.